Hello from Farland. Today, a new locomotive. This is a King Class, Great Western. It's one of the new ones. It's actually been sitting on my desk in my office for quite a while now. I've been waiting for a decoder. Obviously, you can't run it without one. If I can get it open. This is the first time I've opened it. It is not fitted. I have a decoder and we'll be fitting it soon. They really have it in here pretty good. I understand them wanting them to be fairly tight, but sometimes the tightness becomes ridiculous. This one is King William IV. Although it wasn't his fault, a lot of good things actually happened during his reign. It wasn't his intent, as I understand it. Here we have it. Very beautiful. We'll get some close-ups of it here in a minute. Foam with a rubber patch. I wanted this to pull my new Class 1s in Western livery, chocolate and cream, and rather than settling, I waited and I got this. One of the things I'm quite curious about is the undercarriage, because I know there's a lot of difference in undercarriages. In particular, I was interested in the linkage between the tender and the locomotive. My Merchant Navy class locomotive has a much superior connection to all of my other locomotives. It's a permanent connection. And I see with pleasure that this one is also equipped with a permanent connection. Well, you can disconnect it by unscrewing the screw from the link, but it is solidly connected. Honestly, I don't like having to plug these tiny little plugs in the tender. I've mangled a few with my clumsy fingers. I'm quite pleased to see that it has a water scoop. That was something else that I found intriguing about it. I don't think I have a water scoop on anything else in the fleet. I understand from watching other videos about this particular model on YouTube that it is a good puller. Also, the recommendation of SDGR 7F88 that it is a good puller, and I need a good puller to negotiate my hills. Even though they're only 2% grades, they can be a challenge. My Class 5 has trouble with them, although my Merchant Navy class has no difficulty at all. Well, I mean, if you load it up big enough, it does. So let's take a close look. I'm going to put it on my turntable and take some still pictures. So I'll be right back. This super castle has very beautiful lines. As you can see here, there's a little hint of the red painted steam piping and cylinder in the middle underneath the boiler. You can see it again in this at this angle. Copper chimney. The coal almost looks as though it's real. A very good job, as though it had been dropped into the tender from overhead and the locomotive pulled forward a little ways. Beautiful detailing inside the cab. Instruments, levers, and valves all picked out in various colors. Note the wedge-shaped firebox. Double chimney. Sprung buffers. It's demonstrated here. Folding floor for the firemen. Separately fitted details, handrails, dart, lamp iron. One other thing I noticed being in the machinery business all my working life is it has a central lubrication distribution block. Very interesting. This is a very finely detailed model, and I'm proud to own it. I'm curious to see how it runs, though. We may have to wait until a later video for that, because I have a number of things to do before I can run it. I must install the decoder, assign an address, and that it's going to take some research to find out what will be best for it and what's available. I'll also want to run it around the layout, make sure there are no clearance problems. That's a slow process of moving very slowly through the layout and observing very carefully. And once all that is done, then I'll be able to put up a short video of it running. I think that'll be later though. Probably early next week would be my guess right now. In the meantime, I'd like to show you the progress I've achieved on the layout. So let's go have a look. So what's been going on in the train room since we last talked? my last missive, I talked about being able to build a curved platform for Far Moor. So what I've done since then is I've actually cut the track and fitted it, although this one might need to be shortened just a little bit. To be sure that it would actually all work. And indeed it does. I'm going to use a foam decline starters to bring it down to table height. I think that would be more interesting to have this at a different height than the main lines out here. This will be under a foam bed here, or on top of a foam bed. All this will be, and the goods shed as well will be on foam, because I want, obviously this has to be level, so there's really not any choice. But there'll be plenty of room to turn around, so I can pull a train into the platforms and then drop the coaches, pull up, run around it, and then pull it out in reverse, going the other way, and continue on with my journey, or go back to the main station, go back to Howe Street. I'm really happy that this works. I haven't cut it in yet. I want to test that castle before I actually start ripping up track. So I'll clear all this stuff and then run that king. And when that's done, then next week sometime I'll start cutting track, or cutting into the track. The track is basically all cut and ready to drop in. I used an unusual type of track. You can see it here. The sleepers are about half the height of a standard set rail track from either Hornby or Pico. This is, I thought, more colorful, and it comes pre-weathered. I discovered it on my last layout, but I really didn't have any place I had got a chance to use it. Let's see if we can get this so you can see that. Microengineering. And I bought a good chunk of it at the time. I got it from Walters. Walters had it in their catalog, and I was able to get it. On this side of the platform, which is actually the side where customers will detrain or enter the coaches, I'm going to have to use Hornby fixed set rail, because I need an absolutely smooth curve or I feel I do, absolutely smooth curve to make this curved platform work. My tongue is getting all tangled up. So there's plenty of room for to get off the switch, get off the turnout, get off the point, and be able to swing around and pick up the train from the other end. That's true down here. And it's true from this end. In this case, you can run up towards the goods shed. No, that's not connected right. it's not in the clip. Easily fixed. So I'm quite pleased with that. Looks like we're going to have a Far Moor. Couldn't be happier. Over here on the other side, in back of us, I've started working on the area over here for Hanging Lake. I got the plaster in. Took 2 days altogether because it's very tiring work, at least working here. I really don't want to get plastered splattered all over the walls and the floor and everything down here. So I was doing I mixed it here, but then to clean up, I would have to go up the stairs and outside to an outside area to clean brushes and clean up for the next batch. And you know, you really don't make that much. About 9 ounces, 10 ounces of actual plaster. And since it's going on quite thick, it doesn't go that far. So it took about 9 or 10 batches to do this. I haven't started putting grass down except down here. So I'm very pleased with progress here. I will also continue next week with this. I'm changing hands. This gadget is pretty good, but it's pretty heavy too. Here I think I'm going to build this up a little bit. Not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but I would like this higher. So we'll work on that. Go around to the other side and have a look over there. I won't force you to ride all the way over there, so hang on, be right back. So here we are on the other side, and progress, as you see, is not bad, not bad. I made the mistake of using white glue, PVA, to glue these stones in. Story would be that we'd started washing away here, so the railway came in and shorted up with some stones. Originally they shorted up with the corrugated steel. But I think it will make some nice viewing. One thing I haven't decided, maybe you can help me here. Changing hands again. Do you think I should have a slope on this side? I'm unsure. It'd be nice to have something over here, you know, in case there's a wreck of some kind, God forbid. And I have trains tumbling off on the floor. That always makes me very nervous. Ever since I lost my Mikado. Well, that's about all I've got in the way of progress for right now. I know all those buildings stacked up over there doesn't look good, does it? I'll get around to fixing that. Well, bye from Farland, and we'll be back soon with a running video of that King Class. King William IV. Bye.